What's up guys, John here, and today we're going to go over all the games I got in December of 2018. And this morning when I woke up, I told myself I want to do a pickups video for December of this month. And, I'm thinking like, God, what all games did I even get? I probably got like 5 or 6 games. I don't have enough games to make a video. And then I started putting a list together of just games that I remembered buying. So this should be most of them. And a few of them might have been games from the tail end of last month. So if you see any doubles in any of my videos, I do apologize. But let's get right into it. So I only got one Super Nintendo game, at least one that I remember buying in December of 2018. And that game is Cybernator. I don't know. I might have done a review on this game. I'm not 100% sure. And I still might if I haven't already. But this game, it's kind of like a run and gun shooter kind of hybrid. It's okay. It's for people that like run and gun shooters and shoot 'em ups like myself and platformers. It incorporates elements of all three, and it's like a $20 game, so it's not really expensive or anything like that. So if you see it for a deal, it's worth picking up. Cybernator on the Super Nintendo, Super Famicom. Okay. Okay, so this is a game I got at GameStop. I actually got quite a few of these games I'm going to show you at GameStop. And this is like an action RPG. I've never heard of this game. And it was like $8, which, $8 if a game looks decent, I'll spend $8 on it. But From the Abyss, it is cart only. There's a really like a long menu system in the very beginning of this game that I really wasn't into. It was like taking like a test in school or something. There's like all these like multiple choice questions, but I did play this game for a little while and it did look pretty interesting. So if it is good, I will let you guys know in the future. But that is From the Abyss, card only on the DS. And here's another DS game. I actually got this one today on my way to work. I saw it. It was only like a couple of dollars. It was like one of those like scratch and dent bin kind of things. But that's Metal Slug 7 on the DS. I've heard of this game and I played it a little bit today. It's pretty good. It reminds me of another Metal Slug game. I probably have all of them for many different systems. I mean, Christ, that franchise got ported over to pretty much everything. But it's a good run and gun series of shooters. Shooter series, whatever. But anyway, Metal Slug 7 on the DS. Decent game. Decent price, too. It's pretty cheap. This game I got a couple of weeks ago. It's Castlevania Circle of the Moon. Card only or whatever. Same thing. It was like a $10 bin or something. I played this game for a little bit. Now, I know there's a couple of different Castlevania games on the Game Boy Advance. This is the only one that I have, though. Actually, no, this is the only one that I have, and that's Castlevania Circle of the Moon. I have both of the DS Castlevania games, and this is kind of cool. Now I can get into some of the GBA Castlevania games. Here's another one I got. I actually made a case for this one, and same thing, like a $10 bin, cheap game, but that's Advance Guardian Heroes. I didn't even know they had a Guardian Heroes game for the Game Boy Advance, and this one's pretty fun. So yeah, there's my game. But Advance Guardian Heroes for the Game Boy Advance. Okay, I don't know why I have this one in a plastic case. It's nothing special. It's just, I showed this on my channel before. It's just a strategy RPG. It kind of reminds me of kind of like Rhapsody when it was ported over to the DS. Kind of that like that real primary kind of strategy RPG system, but that's Luminous Arc 2. I haven't beaten this game or anything like that, but I have played it for a few hours, and pretty fun strategy RPG. And I've showed this game off on my channel. I'm actually currently playing this game, and I've played it for the 3DS, and I've actually owned it before on the DS. I just happened to pick it up recently. But that is Radiant Historia on the Nintendo DS. I've talked about this game a few times on my channel. Awesome story, gameplay is great, battle system's good. Not an expensive game. If you like RPGs, like if you like Cosmic Star Heroine, or if you like any of the Lunar games, whether it be for the Sega CD or the PlayStation 1. If you like old school, traditional turn-based RPGs, Radiant Historia is the game for you, and it deals with time travel in very interesting ways, not unlike Chrono Trigger. Okay, so we're moving on to the Nintendo Wii now. I've known for years there's been shooters on the Wii, and I knew of 2, but I got 3 this month, and I found all of these at GameStops. So the first one that I got is Ocean Commander. You got to use your Wiimote. It's kind of like a gun. It's kind of whack, but it's kind of fun. It's like a shovelware shooter, but Ocean Commander, and it was like, this game was like $2 or something. It was super cheap. This game was $20, and it didn't have the manual, but it's Ultimate Shooting Collection, so pretty much it's 3 games in one. It's Chaos Field, Radio Allergy, and I don't even know how to pronounce his name. Karous. Kairos, I guess that's how you pronounce it. But I have Chaos Field on the GameCube, and Radio Allergy, I know that that is an expensive shooter on the Dreamcast, so I've never tried to pursue that game unless I found it really cheap. But all three here, there's the back of the case right there. But yeah, Ultimate Shooting Collection, like I said, it's got 3 shooters in one. It's a $20 game. Well, if you just walk in there, it's $25, Pro price $22.50, and Elite Pro $20. So let's just say it's a $25 game, but I recommended it. I recommended it $30. It's an awesome game. Ultimate Shooting Collection on the Wii. I'm probably going to do a video on this. And the last game I found for the Wii is another shooter I've never heard of. I haven't played it yet. I'll probably play it tonight. But that's the Monkey King, The Legend Begins. I know, right? Doesn't look like a shooter, but it's a shooter. I mean, it's made by UFO. Look. UFO made both of these games, so that's the first thing I saw on this game. I saw the UFO, and I was like, what the fuck, is that a shooter? And I looked at the back cover art, and I said, yeah, that's coming with me. Again, this was like a $2 game, so and it came with the manual, and the disc is kind of grimy. I gotta clean the disc, but yeah, I'm excited to play this, so yeah. The Monkey King, The Legend Begins on the Nintendo Wii. Okay, now for the PlayStation 2, I got a couple of interesting games. I think the first game I got for the PS2 this month, just a few games now, but I got Capcom versus SNK2. It was only $10, and you know, I like fighting games. I like Neo Geo. I like a lot of the Capcom fighters, and I love Third Strike on the Dreamcast. So yeah, Capcom versus SNK2. Okay, this next game is a survival horror game, and it says I paid $22.99. I really paid $15 for this though. But it's a game where you set traps in rooms and you have to kill people, and it's pretty interesting. But it's called Trapped, and it's for the PlayStation 2. Again, I'm not a big survival horror guy. All that Rule of Rose and hunting grounds or whatever. I don't really look for games like that. But I just looked at the back cover of this game, and then I watched a video on it. And I actually got this from a friend from his store, and he was like, "Man, that game looks cool. You should get that." And I was like, "All right." So, Trapped on the PlayStation 2. And the last game I got is a game I've heard a lot about, and it's Zone of Enders, the second runner. I've never played this series of games before, but I know you like get inside of a mech suit and you have to fly around, and I'm real into stuff like that. And I just know that the guy that made the Metal Gear Solid series made this game, so you know it's a highly regarded and coveted series. So. And they just released this for the PS4. I think there's like a VR mode and stuff in it. So I sold my PS4 VR thing, but if the Zone of the Enders game is really good, maybe I'll find one used and it's like $100 or something. But yeah, Zone of the Enders for the PlayStation 2. Okay, now moving right along, we're going to jump right into Sony stuff. So mainly the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation Vita. Now I know I showed you PS2 stuff, but you can buy Vita stuff and PS4 stuff at GameStop. It's both current gen stuff, so to me, PS2 is more retro. Anyway, let's go to the Vita. So at this one GameStop, they had all their new Vita games marked as used. And the guy told me at this GameStop, he said that was common practice for other stores to do that. So because of that, and don't ask me how, I did have a $10 coupon on my account, but I got Ys 8, and I got this Sword Art Online Lost Song game for $10 a piece, okay? So I know I had a $10 coupon. I got like that Elite Pro thing or whatever, and these were marked as used. They're both brand new, but so $20 for both of them. I thought that was pretty awesome. One thing I do when I go into a GameStop, especially one that I don't normally go to, I go right to the Wii, I go right to the Vita, right to the PS3, and now the Xbox 360. Sometimes I look at the PS4 games, but I was real happy when I found these. And there's still new Vita games out there, guys. You just got to look for them. And another thing, when you go into a GameStop, I know I keep talking about GameStop, but that's like one of the only stores left that sells video games other than like Walmart and Target. But when you go into a GameStop, if you are looking for Vita stuff, ask the guy behind the counter, bust that drawer open, because they keep most of the stuff in the drawers now. Even if there's games up on the shelf, they still have most of the games in a drawer. And if they open that drawer, if you can peek your head over, if the guys are cool, you can see if they got collector's editions in there, like all kinds of stuff. So I actually got these because I poked my head over the counter and looked in the little drawer the guy had, and I was like, man, bust them things out, man. So I got these. Okay, this next game is a beat 'em up. I've done a video on this game. It's good, so I'm not going to talk a whole lot about it. But I think it was an Xbox 360 download only game a few years ago, and that's Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds. I got this from Strictly Limited Games a few months ago, but just got it in this month, I'm pretty sure. This next game, same thing, Strictly Limited Games. This game's really good. It's a good shooter, and it's I've talked about it again on my channel, done a video on this game. It's a 90 or a 2000s era PC shoot 'em up over in Japan. Recently brought over to the PS4 and the PlayStation Vita, and that game is Gundemoniums. Gundemoniums. And this is release number 11 on Strictly Limited on the back of the game. And the last PlayStation Vita game that I got, it's actually a collector's edition, missing one thing, and that is, I guess it's Shireen the Wanderer. This game, I played a little bit of it. It reminded me of Cosmic Star Heroine, that 90s era Super Nintendo RPG aesthetic, and I'm totally into that. And I paid $30 for this. Yes, I did, used. And they're supposed to come with some bracelet thing, and the bracelet thing's not in there. But either way, it's a Vita game, and I supported one of my local retro game stores when I bought this, so I am happy about that, I guess. Or maybe that's how I rationalize it in my own head, right? Okay, the next stuff I'm going to show you is PS4 stuff that came from, not East Asia Soft, Play Asia. Well, I guess East Asia Soft for some of them. Here's one right here, East Asia Soft, and that is Blvd HD. Some of you might have bought this game on the Dreamcast. I didn't buy it on the Dreamcast. I have other shooters on the Dreamcast, like NG Dev Team and stuff like that, but just not this one. I waited for the PS4 release, and it was really cheap, though. This game was at less than $30 on the website. I think it's sold out now, but they might relist it, hopefully, so you guys can buy a copy if you don't have one. But yeah, Blvd HD, great shooter. This next game I'm going to show you, I've talked about on the channel a few times, videos, live streams, all that stuff, and it's the Game Paradise, the port for the PlayStation 4. To me, guys, this is probably the best shooter that's thus far been ported over to the PlayStation 4, and just in my opinion. I know Fast Striker just got ported over, and I love that game on the Dreamcast, but this is a little bit better. And I feel like, okay, they ported over the Game Paradise. They need to figure out a way to port Harmful Park over, because I feel like that game is going to sell. And this was the original release that they did on PlayAsia website. Now, there's other versions of this game that you can get, like DLC packs and stuff like that, but anyway, there's the original sold well, and I feel like if they port Harmful Park to the PS4, it'll sell well too. So yeah, Game Paradise, well, you know what? This is like $35 on the website now, so it's totally worth it. And this next game, cheap shooter on the PlayAsia website. It's pretty good. It's okay. It's got a really interesting art style, but as far as the game mechanics, could be a little bit better. But for the money, for like $30, it's totally worth it. And that is Shikihando Soul Eater, and I did a stream of this the other day too. I've been trying to live stream some of my PS4 games, so you guys can check them out. Oh, here's another game I got at GameStop. I actually got this for free, and that is Trails of Cold Steel 2. Now, I want to say this. Another game that I got this month, it's a game that I'm currently playing too. It's weird I currently play more than one RPG at one time, right? But another game I'm playing is Trails of Cold Steel 2 on the Vita. I found it card only, right? And it was like $15 or whatever, not super expensive. But I saw this at GameStop, and I was like, damn, $18. So I was like, whatever, I'll buy it. Because I really like Trails of Cold Steel 1, and I'm playing Trails of Cold Steel 2, and it's really good so far. And I didn't even know they had a PS3 release, so I bought it. But they couldn't find the game. So the guy's like, oh, I got to throw that case away, sir. We don't have this game. And I was like, look, dude. I was like, just give me the case. Just give me the case. I'll find it disc only on like eBay or something for $5. And he was like, all right. He actually looked over at another guy, and the guy shook his head. I guess the guy was his boss. But he gave me the case. So yeah, I got a case for Trails of Cold Steel 2. So just got to find the disc now. Shouldn't be that hard to find though. Okay, now this is interesting. Okay. So I don't even own a Sega Master System, but I paid $10 for this, and it's R-Type on the Sega Master System. Now, I do have a PC Engine, and I do have R-Type on my PC Engine. It's actually R-Type on the PC Engine came out on 2 hue cards, the first few levels on one card, then the next few levels on the other card. And I have both of those cards. And then when PC Engine released their CD attachment, you know, for the PC Engine system or the Duo R or whatever, the briefcase. You know, those are actually so many models of the PC Engine, but when they had the CD attachment for it, they put both of the R-type games on a disc and released it in one final version for the PC Engine. But I don't have that version. I just have the HuCard version. But for $10, like, I had to buy this. Like, this thing is, look at this. Like, I'm not going to open it. I don't feel like opening it. But this thing's in great condition. There's, like, posters in there and stuff. Like, I just bought it because of the artwork. And, you know, eventually I might get a Sega. I used to have a Sega Master System. I just don't have one right now. But there is a few games, like the Wonder Boy series, stuff like that, that if I find, I'll buy. But, you know, when I find these games cheap like this and in this good a condition, like, I can't let it sit there, you know. But, yeah, R-Type, I love that series. And you know what? That's another thing. They need to release an R-Type game on the PS4. They've done everything else, I think, but R-Type and Gradius, right? So, come on, guys. Somebody over in Japan released this on the PS4. Okay. All right, so the last 3 games I'm going to show you guys are Sega CD games. Okay. I don't think I've shown you guys these yet. And this is nothing special, believe me. You're not going to find any crazy shooters or anything in here. And you know what? In all honesty, these games, I'll probably end up getting rid of most of them. I have pretty much everything I want for, like, the Sega CD and the Saturn. You know, there's a few things that I want still, but, you know, sometimes when I find stuff that's, like, really, really cheap, I buy it just because somebody else might want it. But these are, like, FMV games, most of them anyway. But we got Power Rangers. And I got this because of the condition of the case, and it's got the foam brick and everything in there. Everything's in great shape, but I mainly just bought this for the case, and it says there's a $15 price tag on here. I might have paid $4 for this. You know, I just bought it for the case pretty much. And I even think I stated that to the guy I bought them from. I'm like, dude, you can pull the games and stuff out of here if you want the artwork and resell it, you know. And he was like, just keep it. All right, that's cool. The next game I got, I think this was actually recently released through Limited Run Games. I'm not sure though. I might have seen something about, but Double Switch, an FMV game, kind of like Night Trap. This game actually looks interesting on the, I don't know if you can see on the back there, but I don't know. I might try this one out. But again, this was like a really cheap game, and it was complete with the little foam brick in there. So that's why I got this game. And the last Sega CD game I'm going to show you is a game I paid $20 for. It also, again, has the foam brick. Guys, I don't know where you got, whoever's watching my video. Like, I live in Baltimore. Well, right outside of Baltimore now. But now I lived in and around Baltimore for the last, like, 10 or 15 years. And, man, everyone around here, they take real good care of their Sega CD and their Saturn games. Let me tell you, in the Baltimore area, it is not hard to find these type of games, and they always come in really good condition with, like, their foam bricks and stuff. Every Sega CD and Saturn game I've bought that I could think of had an excellent case and the foam brick inside. Isn't that crazy? You know, I have games that are missing that kind of stuff, but I bought them, you know, online or somewhere else. But every time I find games around here, man, like, even if it's like offer up or something, like, everyone keeps their cases in immaculate condition. And I thank you, people of Baltimore, because that is definitely what's up. If somebody like me, I appreciate that kind of thing. So that's definitely, like I said, that's what's up with the cases for the Sega CD and the Saturn games around here in the Baltimore area. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments down below, you know, what did you guys get this month? You know, that's why I do these videos, to kind of give you guys insight as the type of games that I like to look for and play and buy and stuff like that. And really, I like to watch videos of other people's collections and what they bought. And it gives me insight as to what they like, and it kind of puts me down with new games I might not have heard of. So that, you know, hope you guys enjoyed the video. And I was thinking about doing videos on, like, my, like, underground, like, hip hop collection. I got, like, vast amounts of, like, CDs that I've had for decades. And same thing with, like, drum and bass and jungle. I used to be, like, big into drum and bass and jungle, and have, like, a monster collection. No vinyl, but a lot of CDs and mixtapes and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Now, remember to like this video. Remember to subscribe to the channel. Until next time, peace out.